welcome. I am Luke Broadway, your host. Today I will be showing you how to use your DSLR. Here I have my Canon EOS Rebel T2i. And since this is similar to most beginner Canon DSLRs, I will be going through all the different uses of the buttons and everything on the camera. And hopefully this will help you understand better how to use it. Enjoy. Thank you. Alright, so here we have the Canon EOS Rebel T2i. In Europe and, well, in the US it's known as the Rebel T2i, but across the world it is known as the 550D. Now, if you have a Canon T2i or a Canon T3 or T1i, then this is pretty much going to explain how to use it. There are a few features on the T3 that are not there, and on the T2i that are. So, to start off, on the T2i, this is T2i, so I do not have the flip-out screen, which for video, that's a little bit of a downside, unfortunately. But it's still usable, and it's very good. So, but to start off, I will show you the basics of this camera. So right here is your shutter button. So you can see that right here. This is your shutter button. So when you turn the camera on and put it into auto, you press OK. And there you go, you have a photo taken. Right now there's no card in the camera, but it takes, the DSLRs take SD cards, like this, 2 GB, and it just slides right in here, and do that. So, make sure that you can see all that. Alright, and you do the same thing, just to take it in and out, and just do that. Alright. So here is the lens. This is an 18 to 55 millimeter lens. I also have a 55 to 250 millimeter lens and a 50 millimeter 1.8 lens. This is 18 to 55. Here's the lens cap. Just pops right on and off and all that. So, and to take the lens off, you have this button right here, right by the lens, and you press it down and just twist the lens up, and it comes right off. Most likely when you got your camera, you figured this out pretty quickly. You read the manual. Unfortunately, the manuals are great size, and they're hard to read, but they are helpful if you know what you're looking for. So, but that's kind of how to take it on and off. Alright, so right here you have your dial, whatever, which goes back and forth through all the different features and settings on here. So right now it's set to video mode, which there's also another button on here which you can get to video mode or live view quicker, but I'll get to that in a few minutes. Let's see. So, and then on top you have your flash. That is fairly easy to open and close. Right now, let's see, camera is on, no card in the camera, but to raise the flash, you can go into manual mode, which is the M on the top of the dial. That's manual mode, and then there is a button with a arrow pointing up, an arrow above it pointing to it, and you press that, and your flash pops up, like so. So this button right here. So it is actually the button right above the lens release button. You also have your camera logo, like Rebel and EOS. So anyway, here's the screen. Beautiful LCD screen. I personally believe that the T2i has probably one of the best out of them all, because even though on T3 and T2i, well, the T2i, you have the flip out panel that takes away from some of the size of the screen. Of course, I'm not sure because I have not used a T3i, only T2i. I personally love this camera. The grip and how it feels, it's just perfect in my hands. But it's also, when you're picking out cameras, you want to see what feels better in your hands too. Well, it's one of the biggest points there. On the bottom, you have your tripod mount. So you can take this little table tripod. This one does not really hold up as well for this, so I wouldn't exactly suggest this. But just kind of screw it in on there. So, and then here's also a small mount for my smaller tripod, and that works as well. Let's see, and then in the bottom, let's see, it's off. In the bottom, you have your battery compartment. So, which, let's see, for me it's a little bit harder to get into, so I have to use something a little bit directed, but anyway, so you have your battery right here, and then you just press that and it comes right out. So, let's see, your LPE8 battery pack, so, and it just slides right back in. Make sure it's pressed down and flip the panel. There you go. Alright, and then, so obviously you also have your viewfinder. If you've used some older Canon, on most cameras nowadays they don't put viewfinders in them, but on this old Canon PowerShot A530 right here, you have a very small viewfinder right above the LCD. So, and then, let's see, I will get on to aperture, ISO, and exposure in a later video. I want to show you how, just kind of the basics of the camera and each button to my best ability here. So, let's see, we can turn the camera on. Currently we're in manual mode. So, as you can, it's harder to see because of the quality, but, and then, as I said before, you have the video mode, but there's a live view button with a like a little recording dot right by it in the camera, and you press that, it goes straight to live view. So you can also, let's see, take the lens cap off, so you can start recording or go back. So you can actually take pictures this way. So, but, and now we're in video mode. So to record video, you just press this button. You don't press the shutter down, you press this button. So I will also go into recording video on this camera also at a later date. Let's see. On your lens, you have, let me see, I will actually use a different either lens, which has it. This lens is similar, the ring is similar to the 18 to 55. This is a 55 to 250 millimeter lens. So basically you have your 18 to 55 and you go straight to this, and then you got a telephoto starting right from where you left off with 18 to 55. This, the 50 millimeter, I personally love this lens, but I will go into all that later. It's a cheap $100 lens, great portrait lens. But onto this, let's see, you have the zoom, same thing with this, the 18 to 55 over here, but you have two switches on top of the lens right here. You have image stabilization. You want to keep that on, even most of the time if you're on a tripod. You don't want to put that off just because it might, if you're starting out, that's not going to help you out too much, so I would definitely suggest keeping that on. You have autofocus, the AF and the MF. MF is manual focus, so right now I have it on autofocus on this lens. So when you're on autofocus, all you do is you press the shutter button halfway down, and then it autofocuses for you. When it's on manual focus, it does not do that. I will show you how this works in a later video, or in part 2 of this. And I also have a lens hood on this lens currently. Let's see. And then you have your arrow buttons for when you're in your menu. To get to your menu, let's go to manual. Actually, we'll go into the menu later. This is your obviously your LCD, and this is showing your settings when you're in manual mode. When you're in auto mode, which I would, if you're starting out, I would suggest using that. So you have the option to actually, it'll basically do it all for you. You can change the file formatting, and you're shooting in single or with the remote control, or on a self-timer. So, but to get to your self-timer, you basically go right into this little right-hand corner at the bottom, and you've got this square box. Click that with the button in the middle that says Set. And actually, to navigate your menu here, the Q button above the arrow keys, that will allow you to freely navigate your menu screen. So, and then you can do all of that. Let's see. These are, and then the basic of the basic is your on-off switch right here on the top. You have, again, sorry for the quality. You have your trash can button, which when you're viewing images on your card, you have this the play button in the box that will allow you to go and view your images. And then once you're viewing your images, then you can use the trash can button. Let's see. You have the white balance, so if you're in manual mode, just press that up button, and then there you go. If you're in, and you shouldn't really need this for the moment. Let's see, and then also, so there are different options. I will go into each of these specifically at one point in time. I wanted to, with this video, cover the main, like the main features like flash to the dial, the shutter button, battery, just like the basics of this camera, like extreme basics, not even how to really use it, but each thing you should know about the camera, I guess, and the lens. So, let's see. And I will probably cover the rest in the next episode in part 2. But I think that's probably going to be it for part 1 for now, and I should have part 2 up soon. Anyway, there we go. I hope you enjoyed that video, and I hope you definitely learned something and put it to use in the future. Again, first, I do apologize for the poor image quality on this video. Since I am not using my T2i, I am forced to use a older Nikon point and shoot, which does have video capabilities, but the quality is not up to par with this. I do apologize for that, though. For now, when I'm doing just how-to videos on the T2i, I will be using this camera to record videos such as this. But again, I do hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you learned something. If you have any questions, please put them in the comment section below, or feel free to message me. Also email me at lukebroadwayphotography@gmail.com. That link or that email will be in the description as well. Thank you, and goodbye.